Gentle and good ladies, good and gentle men, thank you for attending here this evening. It is my great privilege to be here with you, although it would have been a more felicitous occasion had my dearest friend, my beloved wife Abigail, been able to attend with me. But I have brought a portion of my teachers, my mentors, my other friends, my treasured books. These have been my teachers about government and politics, about law and civility and justice, about religion and God and my fellow man. These have prepared me for all the various duties that I have been asked to perform for my country. I served as a delegate to the First and Second Continental Congresses, and I pushed hard for independence, which we eventually got. I served on the committee that wrote the Declaration of Independence. I served as a special minister to France and then to Holland, and then as a negotiator for the Treaty of Peace with England. Finally, I was appointed as ambassador, the first ambassador from the United States to the Court of St. James in London. A very nervous experience for me as an American revolutionary to be presented to the very English king from whom we had just won our independence and whose colonies he had just so recently lost. After several years in Europe, I came home to America once I was elected as the first vice president of the United States. In my opinion, the most useless ever invented by the mind of man. Nonetheless, I am now your second president, and I'm honored to serve. It's also humbling to follow the two successful terms of that mercurial hero, George Washington, who set so many of the precedents of the office and set its dignity. I have been aided in all of these duties by my sons, John Quincy, Charles, Thomas Boylston, by my beloved daughter, Abigail Amelia, who we call Nabby, by my wise, courageous, and often too honest wife, Abigail. I'm now coming to the end of my time in public service, and I have now more recently been reflecting on my days of service. I've also been asked more and more by others about what I consider my greatest achievement and my greatest disappointment in those years of service. As far as achievement, that provides a ready answer. It's been my work in winning American independence. That was such a monumental task of enormous proportion, struggle, courage, and sacrifice. It was fraught with danger, especially danger of failure, but it was what destiny required. You see, we had become a new nationality as Americans, separate from the English, and we required a new nation. So whatever task I have done, whatever work toward that end in terms of achieving independence, that remains my lasting legacy. As far as a great hurt, what could be a greater hurt? A more disorienting one than losing the friendship of a fellow patriot who I had worked side by side with in great unity for that independence. I speak, of course, of Thomas Jefferson. We had worked tirelessly. We had worked against great odds and great opposition to win that independence. But once won, we drifted apart because of our different views about what America should be and what our place in this world should be. Mr. Jefferson sees in America of farmers, rural, tied to the land. I see America of great industry, of prosperity, of burgeoning cities. He favors France as a nation, largely because of their generous and necessary help in our revolution and because of theirs. And although I do not favor England as a nation in their war against France currently, as a nation, England, by large measure, has been a greater ally to us than has France, who continues to interfere with our merchant shipping. This rift between Mr. Jefferson and myself has grown larger and more intolerable since I became president, because under our current system, whoever wins the most votes in the Electoral College becomes president, and the one who gets the second most votes becomes his vice president. To have a president and a vice president of such disparate views makes unity of purpose in an administration almost impossible, and disunity almost inevitable. Still, I pray that someday we will be able to put aside our differences and we may resume the warm friendship and affection that we had for each other in years past. In any event, I invite you to come and see this collection of my books and other artifacts. And if you have any inquiries of me, please come and ask them. And if it is in the power of my memory, I will answer them. Thank you, and good evening.